Hi, Vencore weather meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Thursday, September 18th. A reinforcing shot of cool air is headed to the mid-Atlantic region and the northeastern part of the country. It'll be quite cool tonight. Low temperatures could bottom out in the upper 40s in some of the suburban locations along the I-95 corridor, especially from Philadelphia up across the New York City, those northern and western suburbs. And upstate New York and interior New England can see temperatures overnight tonight drop down into the upper 20s to lower 30s, frost in many areas. Friday will be a quite cool day to end the work week. High temperatures will struggle to pass the 70-degree mark along the I-95 corridor. High pressure, however, will then push off the northeast coastline this weekend. On the backside of that high, an increasingly warm southwesterly flow of air will push temperatures higher on Saturday as compared to tomorrow, and then peak on Sunday afternoon with 80-plus degrees possible along the I-95 corridor. That weekend warm-up, however, will be rather short-lived as another cool front will usher in a cool air mass for the early part of next week. Well, let's start off by looking at the tropics. This is the satellite view that we looked at yesterday that shows North America, South America, and the entire tropical parts of the Pacific and Atlantic basin right here. We have a few different areas to look at. Again, we have the remains of what once was Hurricane Odell. Those remains are situated right now over the southwest U.S. and will continue to produce some heavy rainfall, especially in New Mexico and western part of Texas over the next 48 to 72 hours or so. Just to the southwest of the Mexican west coast is the next hurricane called Polo. It's a Category 1 hurricane right now. It looks like it may take a track a little bit more to the west than north, especially compared to Odell, perhaps staying just off the tip of the Baja Peninsula. So it remains to be seen whether the remains from this particular Pacific tropical system end up in the southwest U.S., but we'll monitor that over the next few days. Meanwhile, out here in the North Atlantic, the remains, well, it's still a hurricane. Hurricane Edward is now diminished to a Category 1 hurricane. It continues to pull away from any U.S. land mass and pulling to the east over colder and colder waters. It will continue to weaken into tropical storm status over the next 12 to 24 hours or so. So those three areas represent the tropical activity going on right now in the Pacific Basin, the Eastern Pacific, as well as the Atlantic Basin. Well, in terms of moisture, this is the latest U.S. radar map from mesonet.org website, and really out here is where the main action is at in the southwestern part of the country. Again, these are from the remains of Hurricane Odell, still spreading some heavy rainfall across southeastern Arizona into the southern and central part of New Mexico, and even spreading into the western part of Texas. This entire area can receive anywhere from 3 to 5 inches of rain over the next 2 or 3 days. Flooding threat continues in that part of the country. And one final look at the rainfall in the southwest. This is the forecast from NOAA forecasters. Total precipitation for the next 3 days, and here over this southwestern U.S., very heavy rainfall on the order of as high as 4 or 5 inches over the next 3 days, especially across central and southern New Mexico into the western part of Texas. Very little, if any, precipitation here in the I-95 corridor over the next few days. Well, let's take a look at some local conditions here, and we have a reinforcing shot of cool air. Here's the cool frontal system that will pass through the region later today, and high pressure over the Ohio Valley will give way to this high pressure system over the south central part of Canada. This high becomes the main weather maker over the next couple of days as it first pushes into New England by tomorrow afternoon and then pushes off the east coast. This represents the center of a very chilly air mass. Temperatures tonight could drop into the upper 20s to lower 30s across interior sections of New York State and New England, especially northern New England, and even the upper 40s possible for overnight lows in the northern and western suburbs of the I-95 corridor, big cities, especially Philadelphia and New York City. Once that high pushes off the east coast this weekend, the winds on its backside will shift to the southwest and will get increasingly warmer over the upcoming weekend here in the Mid-Atlantic region. Well, let's take a look at a few computer forecast maps for the next couple of days, beginning with this evening, Thursday evening's forecast map. This is all using last night's 0Z GFS model run. By this evening, that high pressure system in Canada becomes the main weather maker here in the northeastern quadrant of the country. Notice this blue line here, which kind of represents the freezing line in the lower part of the atmosphere, and it penetrates all the way into upper New York State and New England. Again, there can be frost overnight tonight in interior New York and across much of interior New England. Temperatures can drop all the way down in the upper 20s to lower 30s by tomorrow morning. Let's now take a look at the Friday morning forecast map. By tomorrow morning, that high pressure will be centered just about over New England. Notice on the backside, though, already out across the middle part of the country, a strong south to southwesterly flow of air pumping in much milder air tomorrow out across the western Great Lakes and northern plains. All that translates to the East Coast over the weekend as this high continues to push steadily to the east, moving off the New England coastline by later tomorrow and certainly by early on Saturday. And here's the forecast map for tomorrow evening, Friday evening. That high has already shifted by this time to the coastal region of New England. South or southwest flow already starting to set up across the Ohio Valley, and temperatures will certainly be warmer here on Saturday thanks to that southwesterly flow of air compared to tomorrow. Tomorrow, in fact, will be probably the coolest day of the last several, with high temperatures struggling to reach the 70-degree mark in many areas along the I-95 corridor. Well, finally, let's take a look at the Saturday morning forecast map. That high does push well off the northeast coastline by Saturday morning, and an increasingly strong southwesterly flow of air and an increasingly warm weekend headed to the Mid-Atlantic region. Temperatures on Saturday afternoon should jump into the mid to upper 70s for highs, and then to 80-plus degrees, perhaps 82, 83 in places like D.C. by Sunday afternoon. Again, the weekend warm-up will be short-lived, however, as another cool frontal system already taking shape out here in the middle part of the country will spread another cool air mass into the Mid-Atlantic region for the early part of next week. Temperatures will take a dive on Monday compared to Sunday, when temperatures could reach 80 or 82 or 3 degrees on Sunday afternoon. Well, that's it for now. For VencoreWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Doherty.